This is the news on CNBC.
Together we'll restore the right to choose for every woman in every state in America, so vote.
How the president says that can happen. And is abortion access still a liberal motivator? Steve Kornacki has the polling numbers. The Saudi Arabia problem. The White House discouraging companies from doing business with the kingdom while retired military brass earn big Saudi cash. Unwinding America's frenemies dilemma. The mystery deepens after the bodies of 4 friends found dismembered and dumped in Oklahoma. Now an arrest and new reporting on what police say the 4 men were planning. A guilty plea to funding terrorist groups.
Lafarge made a deal with the devil.
The massive fine against the cement company in an investigation that federal prosecutors say is not over yet. Charges filed against the suspected Northern California serial killer. Victims of the crocodile of Wall Street fight to get their money back. And the number one choice to replace Britain's prime minister is a familiar face.
See Johnson actually leading his Democratic challenger. And Johnson, like a lot of Republicans nationally, has been focusing heavily on the issue of crime. Here's an interesting way of looking at it in this race. This is the Marquette Law poll. They basically asked not what's your top issue, but are you concerned about this list of issues? And I think what's fascinating is inflation clocks in. Almost everybody says they're concerned about it. But look at crime. Nearly 90% in Wisconsin say they're concerned about crime. Now look where abortion is. It's about 10 points less on those 2 issues. Republicans focusing big here, Democrats here. Looks like there's more resonance in Wisconsin when it comes to crime. Could explain
losing on the battlefield, and it's becoming clear that Vladimir Putin is employing a new and cruel strategy in Ukraine. Make millions of civilians suffer by knocking out power, heat, and water as the freezing winter closes in about a single week. That's according to the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. We saw another barrage of missiles today targeting critical energy infrastructure across the country. This is a thermal power plant in Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, hundreds of miles away from the front lines. Just yesterday, Russia unleashed these, a swarm of kamikaze drones to dive bomb energy facilities throughout the city. The World Health Organization is now warning that the coming winter could be brutal for Ukraine and trigger a humanitarian crisis if people are not able to heat their homes. In some areas, it is already a living hell. Reporter John Sparks from our sister network Sky News is in eastern Ukraine. A crypto cyber heist like nothing ever seen. Millions in Bitcoin disappearing into thin air. Tonight, we're hearing from the victims for the very first time. Plus, Kevin Spacey back on the stand today during his sex abuse trial. What lawyers grilled him about now and when he might get a verdict. She is now the least popular prime minister in the history of prime minister polling. And that's not all. The new poll also asked Brits who should replace her. And the number one answer is a real curveball. Plus, shocking new data today. Women leaders quitting their jobs at a higher rate than ever before. What's driving their decisions? And the new benefits that some companies are rolling out to try to keep women from piecing out.